Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a simple quarter, and never giving it a second thought. It's scratched, ordinary, and worth just 25 cents, or so it seems. But what is a story carved by time, shaped by nature, and wrapped in myths that continue to confuse collectors around the world? Today, we uncover the full story of the 2014 Liberty Quarter featuring Arches National Park, a modern American coin that quietly connects everyday change with ancient stone, national identity, and unexpected collector value. The 2014 Arches Quarter belongs to the America the Beautiful Quarters program, one of the most ambitious coin programs in United States history. Launched in 2010, this series was designed to honor America's national parks and historic sites, releasing 5 new quarters every year. By 2014, the program had already gained massive popularity, and the Arches Quarter became one of its most visually striking releases. This coin wasn't created to be rare or exclusive. It was meant to be spent, exchanged, and carried by millions. Yet it ended up becoming one of the most talked about modern quarters in circulation. On the front of the coin, we see the familiar portrait of George Washington, a design rooted in American coinage since 1932. Above his head appears the word liberty, a term deeply tied to the nation's founding ideals. Below, the phrase "I and God we trust" reminds us of America's spiritual and cultural history. Encircling the portrait is United States of America, along with $quarter, clearly stating the coin's denomination. At first glance, the obverse seems ordinary, unchanged, traditional, almost timeless. But the true identity of this quarter lies on the reverse. Turn the coin over, and suddenly the story shifts from politics to geology, from leadership to landscape. Dominating the reverse is Delicate Arch, the most famous natural landmark in Arches National Park, located in Utah. This towering sandstone formation rises gracefully against the desert sky, with the distant La Salle Mountains etched softly into the background. The inscriptions Arches, Utah, 2014, and E Pluribus Unum frame the image, grounding the coin in both location and philosophy. Out of many, 1. Arches National Park itself is a place shaped not by human hands, but by time, pressure, and erosion. The park contains more than 2,000 natural stone arches, formed over millions of years as wind, water, and shifting earth sculpted the red sandstone into shapes that seem almost impossible. Delicate Arch, the star of this coin, stands over 65 feet tall and has become a symbol of Utah, appearing on license plates, stamps, and travel posters. By placing it on a circulating quarter, the U.S. Mint transformed a geological wonder into a national symbol, carried in pockets across the country. When the Arches Quarter was released in June 2014, millions entered circulation almost immediately. Coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, producing hundreds of millions of examples. In addition, the San Francisco Mint struck proof versions specially made for collectors, featuring mirror-like finishes and sharper details. There were also silver proof quarters and massive 5-ounce silver bullion coins, created for serious collectors and investors. Despite all these versions, confusion quickly spread, and with confusion came myths. One of the most common myths surrounding the 2014 Arches Quarter is that it is extremely rare. Social media posts, online listings, and exaggerated headlines have claimed values in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars for ordinary coins. The truth, however, is much more grounded. Because so many Arches Quarters were minted, the vast majority of them are not rare at all. A circulated example with scratches, wear, or dull surfaces is typically worth exactly what it says on the coin, 25 cents. Another widespread myth involves gold-colored Arches Quarters. Some people believe that a gold appearance means the coin was specially struck or made from precious metal. In reality, these coins are usually regular quarters that were gold-plated by private companies after leaving the mint. The plating adds no official value and often reduces collector interest. To experienced numismatists, altered coins are less desirable than untouched originals. There is also a belief that simply holding onto a 2014 Arches Quarter long enough will automatically make it valuable. This misunderstanding comes from older coin stories, where age alone increased worth. Modern coinage works differently. Value depends not on age alone, but on condition, rarity, demand, and uniqueness. A common coin in average condition remains common, even decades later. So what actually makes a 2014 Archer's quarter valuable? The answer lies in details most people overlook. Condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from worn circulated examples to mint state coins that appear almost perfect. A quarter graded MS67 or higher, meaning it has sharp details, full luster, and almost no marks, is far harder to find than a worn coin from pocket change. These high-grade coins are often pulled directly from mint rolls, or sets and carefully preserved. Another factor is minting errors. Errors occur when something goes wrong. During the striking process, double designs, off-center strikes, missing details, or unusual textures. Some 2014 Archer's quarters with confirmed errors have sold for hundreds of dollars at auction, not because of the design itself, but because of the mistake frozen into the metal. These coins are rare accidents, and collectors actively hunt for them. Proof coins are another category altogether. Proof Archer's quarters, struck at the San Francisco Mint, were never meant for circulation. They feature deep mirror backgrounds and frosted details, making the arch appear almost three-dimensional. These coins are sold directly to collectors and often retain more value than circulating versions, especially when kept in original packaging. Then there are the 5-ounce silver versions, massive, heavy coins containing pure silver and the same Archer's design enlarged to stunning scale. These were sold at premiums and fluctuate in value based on silver prices and collector demand. While they are not pocket change coins, they contribute to the legend surrounding the Archer's quarter family. In today's market, most circulated 2014 Archer's quarters remain worth face value. Uncirculated examples may sell for a few dollars. High-grade certified coins can reach significantly higher prices, especially if demand is strong. Error coins stand at the top, sometimes selling for more than people expect from a modern quarter. The key lesson is simple. Not every coin is a treasure, but every coin has a story. Beyond money, the Archer's quarter represents something deeper. It reflects a moment when the U.S. Mint chose to celebrate natural beauty rather than political power. It introduced millions of people to a national park they might never visit in person. It turned spare change into a tiny ambassador of American landscapes. For many collectors, that cultural and educational value matters just as much as auction prices. The America the Beautiful series, including the Archer's quarter, helped revive interest in modern coin collecting. Children searched through rolls, families visited parks featured on coins, and collectors rediscovered the joy of finding something meaningful in everyday life. The Archer's quarter, with its elegant design and powerful symbolism, stands as one of the highlights of that movement. So the next time you see a 2014 quarter with a graceful stone arch on the back, pause for a moment. It may not be worth a fortune, but it carries millions of years of geological history, decades of national pride, and a modern story shaped by collectors, myths, and curiosity. In the world of coins, value isn't always measured in dollars. Sometimes it's measured in stories. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2014 Liberty Quarter, Archer's National Park, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And most importantly, keep checking your change, because history often hides in the smallest places. A simple quarter, 25 cents. Something most people toss into a pocket, drop into a vending machine, or forget at the bottom of a drawer. But sometimes, a coin carries far more than its face value. Sometimes, it carries a story. And today, we are uncovering the full story behind the 2003 Missouri Liberty Quarter, a coin born from America's past, surrounded by myths, and still quietly circulating in the present. At the turn of the 21st century, the United States Mint launched one of the most ambitious and successful coin programs in history, the 50-state quarters program. Beginning in 1999, this program aimed to honor each U.S. state with a unique quarter design, released in the order that states joined the Union. It wasn't just about coins, it was about reconnecting Americans with their history. Millions of people, many of whom had never collected coins before, suddenly began checking their pocket change. Children filled albums, parents saved rolls, and for the first time in decades, circulating coinage became exciting again. By 2003, the program was in full swing, and anticipation was high. That year brought 5 new states, and among them was Missouri, the 24th state to be honored. Missouri's quarter was released in August 2003, and from the moment it entered circulation, it stood out. Not because it was rare, and not because it was made of precious metal, but because of what it represented. On the front, the obverse remained familiar. George Washington's portrait, dignified and calm, looked left as it had on quarters for decades. Above him, the word liberty, a single word that defines the American experiment. Below, the date 2003. And to the side, in God we trust. This continuity mattered. While the reverse designs changed, the obverse reminded Americans that all these stories, all these states, were part of one nation. But it's the reverse of the Missouri quarter that tells its real story. At the center stands the Gateway Arch, rising tall and unmistakable. Located in St. Louis, the Gateway Arch is more than a monument. It symbolizes westward expansion, ambition, and the idea of the unknown frontier. Framed beneath the arch are 3 figures in a boat: Meriwether Lewis, William Clark, and York, members of the Corps of Discovery. Their paddles are raised, capturing a moment of triumph and return. Around them are the words, Corps of Discovery 1804 to 2004, marking the bicentennial of one of the most important expeditions in American history. This design was no accident. Missouri played a crucial role in the Lewis and Clark expedition. St. Louis served as the launching point for the journey that would map vast portions of the Louisiana Territory and open the door to westward exploration. The Missouri River itself became a pathway into the unknown. By choosing this design, Missouri didn't just celebrate itself. It celebrated a defining moment in America's national story. Artist Alfred Miletsky designed the coin, carefully balancing symbolism and simplicity. The arch frames the explorers, visually connecting modern America with its early 19th century roots. It's a design that feels dynamic, almost cinematic, especially compared to earlier static coin imagery. Despite this powerful imagery, the Missouri quarter was produced in enormous numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 225 million coins, while the Denver Mint produced around 228 million more. In addition, the San Francisco Mint struck proof versions, including both standard, copper-nickel proofs and special 90% silver proof coins made specifically for collectors. With such high mintage figures, the Missouri quarter was never meant to be rare. It was meant to be seen, used, and shared. And yet, as with many widely circulated coins, myths quickly began to form. One of the most common myths is that the 2003 Missouri quarter is extremely rare and worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. This belief has been fueled by misleading online posts, exaggerated videos, and misunderstood auction listings. The truth is far more grounded. A typical circulated Missouri quarter is worth exactly what it says on the coin, 25 cents. Even uncirculated examples pulled from rolls or mint sets usually sell for only a few dollars. Another myth claims that the Missouri quarter has no errors and no collectible varieties. This, too, is false, though the truth is more nuanced. Unlike the famous 2004 Wisconsin extra leaf quarter, the Missouri quarter does not have a widely recognized major design variety. However, error coins do exist. Some collectors have discovered off-center strikes, missing clad lay errors, die cracks, and even waffle cancellation errors caused by mint quality control machines. These coins are genuinely collectible, but they are rare, and their value depends heavily on condition, severity, and professional certification. There is also confusion surrounding proof coins. Many people assume that all proof Missouri quarters are silver. In reality, only the special silver proof versions contain 90% silver. Standard proof coins are still copper-nickel, just struck with higher quality dies and polished blanks to create mirror-like surfaces and sharp detail. So if most Missouri quarters are common, why do collectors still care? The answer lies in storytelling. Coins like the Missouri quarter connect everyday objects to national history. Holding one is like holding a miniature monument, a reminder of exploration, courage, and discovery. For collectors, the appeal also lies in condition. A Missouri quarter graded in very high mint state, especially MS-67 or MS-68, can command a noticeable premium. Proof coins graded PR69 or PR70 deep cameo are especially desirable, showcasing frosted designs against mirrored fields. Auction results reflect this reality. While circulated coins rarely sell for more than face value, certified high-grade examples can sell for several dollars, sometimes more depending on demand. Silver proof versions typically sell for more than standard proofs due to silver content and collector preference. Error coins are where prices truly climb. Certified missing clad layer errors have sold for hundreds of dollars, while dramatic off-center strikes can fetch even more. The key factor in every case is authentication. Without certification, claims of rarity mean little. For new collectors, the Missouri quarter offers an excellent entry point. It teaches an important lesson in numismatics. Value is not just about age or appearance, it's about context, condition, and credibility. It also encourages careful observation. That quarter in your pocket might be ordinary, or it might be something unusual. The only way to know is to look closely. Beyond the market, the Missouri quarter leaves a lasting cultural legacy. It reminds us that money is more than a tool of commerce. It is a canvas for national identity. Through this small coin, the United States told a story of exploration that shaped the nation's future. And through the State Quarters program, millions of Americans were reminded that history isn't confined to textbooks and museums. Sometimes it's right there in your change. Today, more than 2 decades after its release, the 2003 Missouri Liberty Quarter continues to circulate quietly. It passes from hand to hand, unnoticed by many, cherished by a few. It may never make you rich. It may never fund a retirement or buy a new car. But it offers something else, a connection to the past, a spark of curiosity that even the smallest objects can carry the weight of history. So the next time you hear the clink of coins in your pocket, take a second look. That ordinary quarter might just be Missouri's story, waiting to be told.